Hello guys, my name is Shubham Tiwari. In this video, we are going to look at all the rivers that exist in the northern eastern states of India. And they are Sikkim, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura and Meghalaya. Before we begin, I want to give you a very rough picture of a geographical northern region of a country. I just quickly tell you in a very informal way. If you look at this map, you can see we have a state of a Sikkim, Bhutan as a country, and the states of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, if you look at the India-China border, which is this borderline is nothing but the natural Himalayan mountain ranges. Even in the states of Nagaland, Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, here it is known as a Purvanchal Mountains. Basically, it is a eastern extension of a Himalayan ranges. We also know that the Himalayan ranges divided into different ranges. The first one is Trans-Himalayas, which is basically the main Himalayas mountains that lies in a Tibet and hence called Tibetan Plateau. The second one is Greater Himalayas or Himidri. Here you will find the Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga ranges, basically the extreme northern part of Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh. Throughout the year, it is covered with snow. You also find nether leaves, corny forest trees. There is not much lush greeneries. And the third one is Middle Himalayas. Now here most of the valley hill stations are located. Basically the middle portion of Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh is here. You will find broad leaves, evergreen trees. That means lush green dense forest cover actually starts from this region. And the fourth one is Outer Himalayas, or we can say the foothills of Himalaya or a Shivalik range. This is the southern region of Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh. Here the mountains are not very high. There are somewhere around 1000 to 1200 meter above. And below the Shivalik range, you can see this white portion of land. Most of the Assam lies here and Bangladesh also come. This is basically the plains lowland valley which are formed due to the continuous running of Himalayan streams and rivers. In a rough sketch, you weigh something like this. This is the outer boundary, then we have an inner boundary. Let some puts or inner boundary. The center we have a Brahmaputra plain if you looking at the entire region by side angle. Landform also look like this. The Tibetan region is higher in elevation, so from there the elevation of landform gradually decreases. And the reason for behind that, around 10 to 15 billion year ago, the Indian continental plate collided with the Eurasian plate, which led to the formation of the Tibetan Plateau as well as the Himalayan mountains. Therefore, it makes absolutely sense to the imagine that the river flowing downwards with a massive speed, and these rivers also carry a huge amount of sediments, which by the way form the plain lowland area which we were talking about. With this informal illustration, you now able to imagine the geographical drain that exists in the northern eastern region of a country. Now that you have a rough picture about the drain, it will be easier to study to flow the rivers in this region. Alright, let's go to the first state, Sikkim. One of the main river is Sikkim is Teesta. It originates in the Himalayan northern region of Sikkim, then it flows the south and then flow along the West Bengal and Sikkim border and finally enters into the West Bengal. From there it turns southeast and enters into Bangladesh and finally joins the river Brahmaputra. And the second river of Sikkim is Rangit. Now this river originates in the lower Himalayan mountains of a West Sikkim. While flowing southeast, the river forms the boundary between Sikkim and West Bengal. This is the point between Sikkim and West Bengal border, where river Rangit merges with the river Teesta. And the name of this place called Triveni. This is a tourist place and you can see river Rangit meeting Teesta, and that's how river Rangit becomes a tributaries of river Teesta. And as we know, river Teesta flows into the state West Bengal, and from there it turns southeast and enters into Bangladesh and finally joins the river Brahmaputra and drains into into the Bay of Bengal. And now another tributaries of Tista river is Rangpo. Now this river originates in the east of Sikkim and flows from east to west, where also forms the border of Sikkim and West Bengal. Again, even this river merges with the Tista river. So these are the three rivers of Sikkim. The only thing you have to remember is, first remember the river Tista. That this is the main river. It flows right to north to south of Sikkim, and then it enters the state of West Bengal. River Rangit originates in West Bengal, flows towards eastern side along the border of Sikkim and West Bengal, and finally merges with the river Tista at Triveni. And on the other hand, river Rangpo originates the West Bengal,
This